maybe about iStone.
But I don't understand. People never complain when someone from business goes and runs for Congress. Someone from Congress getting a job working in a manufacturing company maybe is not as strange as you might think. Look, when I was in public life and I was in politics, I would frequently talk a lot about the way I wish business would function. I said, I wish they'd be more environmentally sustainable. I wish they'd take care of their people and pay them a living wage and provide them benefits. And so after saying and doing that for so long, I gravitated towards company like iStone that does all of those things. Look, I don't kid myself. Feel very fortunate to be here at iStone. I feel that it's a company that not only fits my values for what I want a company to be, but someone who has given me a second chance, and I recognize that that's a great opportunity. Well, excuse me. So, look, this is a company that has as its value of manufacturing something from something that would have otherwise been discarded. And it has that value throughout, including its people. And I think that I'm an embodiment of the idea that people sometimes, redefine themselves and try to come back and try to be of value, and that no one should be disposed of. But I also know that I'm very lucky. I'm a person that knows a lot of people, that knew of iStone, that knew to knock on the door here. But I think the value that I want people to take away is that, hey, this is a great product, but also the company has values that we all say we believe in, they're actually doing. Well, I don't want to. Let's just say that we here at iStone, when we hire people, we don't ask them a whole bunch of questions about how you got to our door. What we're more interested in is having that door open to anyone who's willing to work hard and willing to try to do their very best. We have a problem, though, that people that come out of circumstances where they were incarcerated or even just had brushes with the criminal justice system, that becomes an anchor around their development and contributing to their community. We keep that in mind here at iStone, and if I can be a living example of that principle, then that's great. I ran for mayor just as a platform to try to get to become the CEO of iStone. No, my days in elected life are over. I think I paid my dues. I did it for 25 some odd years, was a city councilman, a congressman, ran for mayor. But I haven't stopped caring about those same things. There isn't a day that goes by that I'm not like a lot of New Yorkers walking down the street saying, hey, there ought to be a law, or if I were in charge, I would do A, B, or C differently. I still have that gene, but now I'm putting it to work at iStone and trying to figure out ways to improve our economy, to hire people, to contribute to the tax base, to have a part of the economy that people don't think of in New York. Made in New York City is not something a lot of people see on the stickers of their products. We'd like to show that it can be done here. And hopefully in these tough economic times, we can show something else. And that is, some jobs can get up and flee. When you have a 55,000 square foot factory producing countertops, we're not going anywhere. Yeah, during COVID, we had some empty space here because we weren't manufacturing at the levels obviously we would have been liking to. Someone came and said, listen, I want to produce hand sanitizer here. We opened our doors, and they're now one of our subtenants. But we have to make it a little easier. I really wish that New York City developers who are building these big skyscrapers, they should say, I want to hire New York City people. I want to put countertops in that are made in New York City. I'm going to do everything we can to make sure that the benefits of the building that goes on returns here to New York City. So I still think about these policy issues, but you're not going to see Anthony Weiner on the ballot anytime soon. See, now that I'm a CEO of a countertop company, I don't have my politician hat on. Let me say that again. I am not going to be on the ballot anytime in your kid's lifetime, my kid's lifetime. When I'm a great-grandfather, who knows, maybe I'll think about it again. Well, New Yorkers wouldn't be New Yorkers if they didn't tell someone they were a bum every once in a while. But for the most part, people have been very kind to me for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of them think I would have been a better mayor. I did too, obviously, or I wouldn't have run. But also, people recognize that people make mistakes. Everyone has moments in their lives that they're down. And I think a lot of New Yorkers, and even New York itself right now, realizes we don't want to be judged by our worst moments. We want to be judged by whether we get up from those worst moments. And I'm trying to do that. iStone is a company that's dedicated to that. So for the most part, New Yorkers have been very kind. But I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Well, look, when you lose the election by 40,000 votes or whatever it is, people come up with a lot of the reasons that they think that Trump was elected. I do have some people who could come up to me and say that, but they also come up to me and say that if I were mayor, A, B, or C would have happened, or if I was in Congress, A, B, or C happened. People tell me what's on their mind. It's funny whether it's because I don't mind hearing from people, or because I'm like a touchstone for a lot of things for a lot of different people. For Anthony Weiner is for a lot of people a Rorschach test of the world, and I'm gratified that most people who come up to me say very kind and warm things, and now I give them my card and say, buy an iStone countertop.
To every outcome?
I haven't. I don't Google myself like perhaps I used to when I was in political life. Look, I don't mind being the indispensable matrix of everyone's stories about how things are going, but for now, what I'm focusing on is, making high-quality, environmentally sustainable countertops, and that's enough. I am not. Look, I'm obviously supporting Joe Biden. I still very much want him to win, and I'm glad that he's doing well. But to be honest with you, I'm in that they have that famous Michael Jordan quote. Republicans buy basketball shoes too. I sell countertops to people who have all kinds of different political ideologies, and one of the things that I've learned being in the business world is that what I'm most interested in are the policy outcomes. I want us to be competitive. I want us not to be buying as many countertops from China that we do now, using slave labor and have them made here. And so people on all sides of the political spectrum like the idea that we're a U.S.-based company, for example. But I'm not doing a lot of day-to-day campaigning. We're really focused on trying to make this company a success. Bill de Blasio's got a tough job, and people in elected life I have a lot of empathy for. I know what it's like to be there during difficult times. I was a member of Congress on September 11th, and remember standing on my balcony in Sheepshead Bay, and even in Sheepshead Bay we have embers of September 11th falling in our neighborhood. So I know it's a challenge. I believe I would have been a better mayor, or else I wouldn't have run, but I'm doing everything I can as a citizen to be supportive of New York City and its public officials. I want these people to be a success. I always have. I even wanted Donald Trump to be a success. I think that when you have the responsibility of helping to run a company, you want the economy to be doing well. And I want people to stay in New York. I want them to buy locally. I want them to be employed here, and I want us to get back on our feet. And hopefully de Blasio will help that happen. No, I don't have a Twitter account. I don't have Instagram. I don't have any social media. If you return to there are a lot of bad habits that I no longer have in my life. Thank God, one day at a time, and for that I'm grateful. Thank God, my wife and son are doing well. My wife is still very active, helping Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton's got a podcast. I don't want to do too many plugs in one day. Jordan is back at school. We're very blessed. I mean, through this difficult, we know how difficult some families have it. We're very fortunate. I'm not going to do any. I'm not going to do that here, if that's okay. So we at iStone, we're a triple bottom line company. We want to make profits, of course, but we also care about two other bottom lines. What is the impact we're having on the planet, and what's the impact we're having on our people? And I would hope that when people go shopping, whether it be for a suit of clothes or a countertop, that those are ideals that they value. And if they do, I'm proud to be working in a company that every day ships out beautiful, environmentally sustainable countertops that values the things that I would hope all businesses do. You can do that. And what I'm trying to show is that even a former politician can contribute to that process.